Back to the dantian and the sinking. Feeling the sacrum, the dominant bone in the body, heavy, pulling down. Dantian is just the focus, sense that everything is drawing into the dantian. And then breathing. Feeling the breathing as like an alternation between the gravity and the levity. So when I breathe in, a natural sense of something lifting up my body. And then when I breathe out, there's a sense of something flowing back down my body. That's the aspect of the breathing we'd like to connect to, rather than it simply being a means of respiration, bringing air in, sending stale air out. It's the breathing of the spirit. So let's just try breathing. So as you breathe in, just feel it, you're expanding. And there's a sense of something lightening and coming up through the body and ending up flashing in the eyes. And then as you breathe out, there's a sense of something deflating. Your volume's decreasing and the sense of something flowing down through the body. Here I'm bringing something up from the ground. My spirit is rising. And then here, going back down. And we'd like to connect with the spirit. Feeling that impetus, that sort of little burst that starts the movement. Something in me has to cheer up, has to lighten up, and then the body will follow that. And then something in me almost deflates inside, almost become a little bit sad, and it will breathe out. I want to connect with that impulse that starts the action. And I want to feel it there before I actually allow the action to manifest. So something lightens and then my body flows out. Something saddens and drops and my body follows. There is the spirit that's breathing, in a sense. And this is happening all the time. So when we connect with something, we generally make that connection with the eyes to start with. So there's a sense of you breathe in order to make a connection. You breathe in to send an invitation. And then you need to breathe out in order to be able to breathe in again. So you can't have it going on too long. You can't be in one mode all the time. So I sense this rising up through my body. You can feel it coming out of the head or just flashing in the eyes. And then there's a flow down through the body. So this is like sending out an invitation with your eyes. And then this is accepting what they're giving you. The spirit sparks, energy flows up the body. The spirit goes out temporarily and energy flows back down through the body. And now let's just make a slightly different arm shape. This is real classical Qigong. As you breathe in, you're reaching out, so really taking a big breath. And then just feel it, that wave flowing down through the body as you breathe out. Again, from the spirit, something in me bursts with optimism, with cheerfulness, and I open up and lift, taking energy with me. And then I just let it sink back down. It wants to sink down in a way. If it's not animated, it will sink. So I have to make that burst to cause it to rise up. And then let's turn it into the tree. So that's basically the branches, the crown of the tree. And now I'm going to take it down the legs into the ground. So now breathing from the ground as well as from the sky, from the air. Going into this one where we reach forwards. Here, feeling the reach coming from your spine, from the back. So you'll have to turn my face, my front away from the hand as it goes out to get added extension. And then turning towards the hand is what draws it back in. But again, with the breathing, so this is like breathing in, and then I'm breathing out as I bring the hand in. And not just breathing with the nose, but with the spirit. So here my spirit lifts expectantly, and then my spirit drops as I realize I've succeeded in capturing whatever it is I'm reaching for. Watching the spirit, watching its burst, and then watching the consequence of that, which is the mobilization of the energy and then the body. Spirit bursts, the energy comes up, flows down my arm follows. To observe the spirit, the mind must be quiet and the body must be relaxed and well trained so that it can respond appropriately. and then up and down. Just a little bit of this one where we catch the cape with the little finger. Breathing out until I catch the cape with the little finger, and then I breathe in. It requires a bit of effort to pull this thing around. And then just back into ward off, riding horse. Again, just coming back to that, the dominant prevailing force, which is gravity. but then you're with the breathing as well. The breathing is a rising followed by a sinking. So the spirit has to burst to breathe in, and then that subsides to breathe out. And now just moving from leg to leg. So straightening the leg in order to bend it. The bending pulls me back. And it's the same thing here. So to straighten the leg requires an effort of spirit. And then to bend the leg is just, in a sense, that just extinguishing. So the straight followed by the bend. So the spirit sends out a greeting or an invitation or a hook, which you then retract in order to gather energy or move your body. Something in me has to really burst, and then this is the spirit breathing and the body breathing, but not really, you don't have to worry about coordinating the actual respiration with it, but just feeling this bright expansion followed by a dark gathering. Spirit, levity, followed by sinking gravity. The body's moving in one direction, but that allows the spirit to escape in the other direction. This is what we want to get used to. Especially important in the form when we step. So when you send the foot out in the form in order to make a step, there's a tendency to commit too much with that extending foot, and then you fall into the foot as it hits the ground. So as you extend the foot to step, you should really be sinking back into your other leg to maintain absolute balance all the way through the stepping. And this tends not to happen. So this foot is bending, it's making like a circle so that this one can straighten and extend. So as I sink into the supporting leg, there's a sense that there's like a circle that opens up at the outside edge that continues around as a circle. And then I can get a sense of flowing down through it, again, using this leg to push me down. So it's like a hole here. So I can tap the energy of the ground, the energy of the earth. So one foot is like a circle that's opening up. The other is very much a straight line. And to get that absolute difference between the two legs, I have to let go across the sacrum. I have to sort of dissociate the two legs. And that's difficult because then this leg takes all the strain. So it's very much bow and arrow. The bent leg, the supporting leg is the bow, and then the straight leg is the arrow that's firing out of that. Same thing, but just start scooping the ground. So now it becomes a little bit more complicated. So there's a burst of spirit that gets me extending down this leg. But then in order to do this to the ground, I effectively need another burst in order to expand even more at the very end of the push so that I can grab the ground and pull myself back in. In a sense, the real burst of spirit is actually here. Once the leg has become straight, it needs to then become even straighter so that it can curve into a scoop. So straightening becomes a bend, but it has to expand into that rather than simply contract into it. Otherwise, I won't get behind it. I want the sense that I'm pushing the ground this way to pull myself in that direction. pushing in this direction, and my body moves against it. It's like fishing. You need a burst of activity to send the lure out. But then once you start drawing it back in, you've made your catch, you need another burst of spirit to engage the fish. Here, I need a burst of spirit to engage the ground here. Okay. Just calming the mind so that you can feel the Danshan gathering, drawing into itself. So the spirit is excited but internally gathered. That's what it says in the classics. Spirit is just a sense of excitement, but so gentle, you really have to watch in order to observe it. So just ping a little burst and something escapes. Gravity is making me sink, but it's also making me cohere. Given time, I would become a black hole because everything is being pulled in. And it's the levity, the spirit, the lightness that's making everything expand. So there's two phases, but they're breathing. They're sort of alternating with the breath. Burst of spirit, and then a deflation, a birth of spirit. And every living thing has that. It's what the philosophers used to call vitalism. So this belief that living things They're so different from non-living things, from inanimate things. And so they believe that what gives the living thing that spark of life is the elan vital, as Bergson called it. You know, they believe that there was this sort of force, like, you know, the Chinese called qi, like a life force. Well, you know, like Frankenstein's monster, he needed that burst of lightning to animate him, to bring him alive. That's everywhere. That's sparking all the time, but especially in living creatures. Like one of those quantum physicists, he had this beautiful observation. He said, we understand almost everything except life. So in a sense, the most important thing has eluded us. And now let's just bring it up a bit. And now just using it to step. So I sink into one foot. This foot straightens to drive me down into it and to push me as far in this direction as I can go without toppling. And then I let this foot pop up. And then I step out, pulling in, straightening this leg, and then just letting it bend, which is what it wants to do. So what we want to look at here is when the foot goes out. So when I send the foot out, this is something that, you know, John used to work on, used to try and get us working on it, and we had no idea what he's talking about. So this leg extends out. And so effectively, if my leg is going in that direction, my center of gravity is just shifting in my body because now I have more weight over here. So effectively, I have to move in this direction just to maintain balance. So we want to feel that as the foot goes out, it's driving me in this direction. And then I can put the foot down and come into it without any sense of me losing my balance. So here I need to be moving slightly towards the wall here. And then the foot goes down and I can draw myself in. John's observation was that in order to send the foot out, I have to move in this direction a little bit, but also I have to sink. And this is what really makes it difficult. I'm moving in this direction, but I'm also sinking down. Push with this leg to get me here. And this foot can come up, and then I just send the foot out. It's really difficult. Oh, and I have to sink down. The sense that I'm bending the leg a little bit more. It's one of the problems of Tai Chi is, you know, how do we get those long steps that the Chinese are so good at? I mean, they do a lot of lunging and basically losing their balance. So what we have to do is accept that now if I can sink a little bit more, then I can get the foot a little bit further. And again, it's just opening up that hole, the whole of the foot. Something in me has to expand here to go down, and then I can put the foot down and pull myself in. So the more I want this leg to straighten and reach, the more circular, in a sense, I have to make this foot, the more I really have to open up that hole. It's just all about balance, really, just maintaining equilibrium and just looking at it and just being strict with yourself. Straighten the leg, bend the leg. And now in order to straighten it, this one has to open up. Okay. So just coming back to the breathing. So something rises up me. I smile and something flashes out of my eyes, something very gentle. And then I just draw it all in and down. Burst of spirit that flashes out of the eyes. And invites the other. It doesn't simply invite them, it compels them to actually engage with you. It's an invitation they cannot refuse. This is the sense. So something in you just lifts, your eyes open, your mouth smiles, your eyebrows raise up, and they've got no choice but to mimic you, basically. You do it with animals. The cats around here, I do it all the time. And it's funny, creatures, babies, whenever they look at you, they always look you in the eye. They just know that it's the eyes are what's important. And they respond. With their eyes. It's so easy to recognize fear in the eye of the other, and so obvious when that fear dispels and it's replaced by friendliness. The face can remain completely impassive, but it's all expressed in the eyes. So this is what we want in Tai Chi. The eyes don't so much see as express the spirit. Now, let's just bring it up. So the sense that we've drawn everything in, we're now hiding, but also a sense that all of this is going on a sort of mini scale inside the body.